All right, the property prequel. Be in the know before you buy. We got the Arcs Matt series Q&A. Our first step for 2024, joined by the lovely and the amazing Jamila. How are you?
I'm well. It's good to be back.
Good to be back. It's been a
Yeah,
minute.
It has been a minute. It definitely has.
It's been a minute. First one for the year. Jamila obviously working at the Sarama Group, does a bit in the marketing and helps the business to where we are. Excited?
Very excited. Let's bring it.
Just a quick one. Obviously, been a big sort of start to the year as well, like even with yourself being busy and whatnot. Help play a part in the location change of Sarama Group. We've moved.
Yes, how exciting.
So Burleigh Heads, James Street,
The place to be.
the place to be. It is absolutely buzzing. So just the energy and the vibe around the location. I think as a company, we really wanted to be amongst, the places of the Gold Coast. So if you're in James Street, holler at the crew, the Sarama Group. We're smack bang in James Street. Nearly finished our renovations there too, which will be a bit of fun. But hashtag New Year.
New me.
That's
I was like, don't do it. You went there.
and just to mention as well, what about the backdrop?
I know. What
do you reckon?
Yep, loving
Vibe?
it. A bit of a different vibe. Mix
Fresh,
it up.
fresh energy. Shout out to Emily and the crew at Social Lab there. They've put together the equation was simple. We said minimalist, clean, and something that's gonna
Vibey.
Vibey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they nailed it. I
They
feel
always do.
they always do. Shout out to the crew there. Q&A, Arcs Matt series. We'll put the post out. If you want to get your questions answered, let us know. First one for the year. Let's bring some heat, eh? What some of the questions?
Let's go. So for our first question that we've got, when is the best time to start marketing a build development?
Oh, really? That's a great question to start the year off. That's a really good one. I'll tell you why.
Pick some goodies for you.
Yeah, I'll tell you why that's a really good one. We're in 2024. We're in Southeast Queensland, specifically on the Gold Coast. So I'll comment on the Gold Coast really quickly. It's a gentrifying city. And what I've noticed is more than ever, builders, mum and dad developers, seasoned developers, they've all got money into the Gold Coast. Like they see the potential in the area.
Yeah.
So with that comes old becomes new. So there's a lot of developments happening. So this is a really cool subject. One thing I noticed with the marketing side of things, and I'm really passionate about marketing, as you know, what I've noticed the best do is they hype up their developments and they build hype around the product, but they don't actually launch it for sale, so to speak, until it's complete. And I really like that. Reason is this, that to get a premium price, a lot of these developers and people doing these projects are obviously doing them to make a profit, right? And what comes with profit? You want to make money. And the best way I find to make money in real estate is tapping into emotional buyers, tapping into the emotions. So you got two parts. You got people who will market a development off the plan before it's ready and rely on renders and photos and things like that, which is great and some great results there. But I always find if you've got the capacity to go through the build until finished, then get it styled, staged, put it on the open market, you're going to gain a lot more attraction from the marketplace because they can touch and feel and feel the project within them. So some really good examples actually that come to mind. I know comma_projects, Jen Sinclair. She's a good one to follow. I'll just name a few that come to mind. Our Unfiltered Reno, Alex and Toby, they're a good example as well. Renovating Mates, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Eddie and Perry Beef as well. What I've noticed with people like them, they're sort of just having a crack at development. But what they do is they create marketing around the process towards completion.
Yeah.
So they're doing little clips and vlogs around the slab getting put down or the walls going up. Painting got done. And then they're showing all the little features. So people feel a part of the build. And then what happens when it's fully complete, then they maximize it. They put heat over the hype they've built. They then get an agent in, then they do the marketing, the styling, the photo. Then it goes to mass market audience. And then what happens there is it creates more competition for their build. So all those three that I've mentioned have achieved exceptional results, right, through their marketing. Like Jen's a good example. Like she did an amazing development in Morotai Ave in Palm Beach, just set a brand new duplex record
Wow.
by not just $10, $100, like I'm talking 6-figure records.
Some big money.
Big money. Reason is she spent a lot of time, I noticed, building hype around the project and then waited. I gave her the advice to wait until it was fully complete so then you can tap into more buyers, more emotions, and things like that. So that's probably my biggest tip there. And a really good example, probably the stalwarts I see at the top of the game. You know, you got Greyer in Brisbane as well, doing really good things, and Nick McDonald, like MacTech on the Gold Coast, same thing. They're all hyping up their developments, but they don't actually push it to mass market until the project's complete. So that would be my just pure advice or opinion on best time to market is build hype around it, but then officially market it to the audience once it's complete. But just a small caveat there. I know a lot of developers, builders who do it full time. Sometimes you do need pre-sales off the plan to continue the development or to go on to your next project. So different story, right? Sometimes they have to get the sales going before it's complete. So that's a little caveat there that people need to understand as well. It's not that they don't want to wait till it's done, is that they're very strategic with where the profits are going. You know, they might only get funding from a bank if they get X amount of resales. So it's a different ball game. But that aside, I always believe waiting till the finished products, touch, feel, walk inside, build emotion.
Interesting. Yeah, the build emotion I feel like is incredibly important. You touch on that a fair bit. So yeah, love it.
It's emotional game.
It really is.
It really is.
Really is.
Really, really is. Hopefully that gave some insight there.
100% great value there. Thank you.
Love it.
We'll go on to our next question. So we've got, I know you're big on getting better. What's one thing you want to achieve this year? Ooh, I like it.
Oh, that is good. I use the mantra that I said to myself that 2024 is the year of simplicity, but better.
Yes, you said this to me a couple of weeks
Yes,
ago. And I was like, oof.
Love it. 2024 is a year of simplicity, but better. I just feel more than ever in society today, there's more distraction. There's more things to look at. There's more things to lose focus on. There's more notifications pinging at you. There's more.
Tell me about it.
You know, there's just more and more of everything. And I feel we're coming to a society where people just want detox. Like, think about this. When's the last time you've thought to yourself, I need to follow more people? You know, and I need to cram more into my day.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just wanting a bit of a detox and cleanness
space.
and space.
Some
space. I think that's the way the world's going, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And in 2024, I've made a real commitment to just be simple, but be better. And what I mean is an analogy, you know, me, Jamil, I like staying fit, going to the gym. And going to the gym, right? Like I remember when I was playing professional sport, it was all around like, you know, how much weight you could lift and things like that. Probably not at the best core because it'd probably cause some injuries and sore bodies, you know. It's just stacking on the plates. If you think of a bench press, right, and you're putting more weight on the bar and your ego and you really want to get that weight up, but maybe at the sacrifice of some form, which may cause some injury, right?
Love that analogy.
Instead, why not take some plates off the bar, but do higher quality reps more efficiently and have a better outcome feel. So until you get the strength and the foundation, doing the quality reps with good form, then you can put some more weight on. I just feel in life now, especially in business, what I notice is things aren't even set and people are putting more weight on the bar and losing form rather than they should be taking the weight off, getting back to basics and just doing the simple reps first, but at a higher quality. So in business, what I've noticed is, you know, some people got 5 or 6 businesses, but none of them make money. But it's cool to have a lot of businesses, right? Where I see the really successful ones who may have multiple businesses is they crushed it in one business, profited X amount, and then that led them to potentially another business, and then they're crushing it there, and they all feed each other in the ecosystem. I think the most successful businesses, if you look at it whole, all just focused on one avatar, one business model, and one simple process, and then you just keep being better at that. And I use Jim's Mowing as an example, right? It's a $500 million industry. I think it's 500 mil or whatever. They just did mowing for ages. Jim's Mowing.
Jim's Mowing. Have you
Oh,
heard of
Jim's
them?
Mowing. Yeah, you never heard of Jim? Oh, it's under a rock.
Look, I'm not searching.
You'll see him
for-
everywhere now. But Jim's Mowing, like years and years, and then it started to do.
Oh
all the
no,
other,
yeah.
Yeah, you see that
yeah,
face
I've
on
got the image.
Yeah, exactly. And then it got into maintenance and IT and all that later. But if it focused on all that stuff at the start, it wouldn't be where it is today. It just focused on the mowing, and that's it. Just one simple marketplace. So when I answer that question, for us, it's around not getting shiny object syndrome. There's plenty of opportunity for us as a business, and the more success I have in my life, the more people want a piece of it, or me to collaborate with them on this project and that project and things like that, which is really enticing. But the more I just bring myself back to how did I get here? It's because we've built a business on just serving one solid avatar. And this is all around how can we just serve that avatar better? How can we improve the onboard experience? How can we improve the client experience where it's so good they have to tell their friends, which, 100% of our business is basically word of mouth. So we're really proud of that. But why can't we make it better? Why can't we improve the whole buying experience? Why can't we just focus on the amazing team we have and upskill them to be better rather than scaling to 10 more people in 6 weeks kind of thing? So that's basically my mentality at the moment. It's just focusing on what's been doing really well, but being better and keeping it simple. Decluttering the house, keep only the simple things, simple wardrobe, simple routines, simple life. Keep it clean, but be better.
I feel like a lot of people needed to hear that. I feel like exactly what you said. Everything is so loud and in our faces constantly, and especially on social media, like different companies have got this business and that business, and it's like, well, I'm behind, I'm not there yet. I've only got the one business. So I think it's all misstewed in the sense that if you don't have 3 businesses, you're not successful. So I really love that. I really love that statement.
Yeah.
So
No, the more I'm learning in business is a lot of people have got a lot of business aren't making too much money either.
Yeah.
So just
They're chasing
always
the tail.
stay in your own lane. Just stay in your own lane. Keep it
I
simple.
really value that.
Keep it simple. And clean your house, man. Like clean house, clean mind.
Couldn't have said it better.
Our new office, I've said to the team, hey, this is a clean space. We're here to
Me
win,
too.
but
We've both got OCD, so it
decluts.
works.
Pick up your trash, man. So, that's 2024. Excited about that.
Love it.
Simplicity.
Thanks for sharing. So we'll go on to our third question. So are you wanting to expand to commercial properties?
2 parts. I think as a business, I see a big blue ocean starting to build in the buyer's agency space in specific commercial property. I know there's some commercial buyer's agents already who crush it. I think here on the Gold Coast is definitely an addressable market for that. It's funny, it probably leads on the question just before. Probably for us right now, I want to create a stronger foundation of what we're doing already in
Exactly.
residential. And I think we can improve it and be better and capture more market share. We're experts in that field. And I think why not just focus on that and double down? Be better. We've had an incredible 6 to 12 months just because we just kept things simple. And we're going to have another incredible 6 to 12 months because I feel I'm not going to lose focus and just stay focused on the one thing. Once I feel that's set and going good, then commercial property is definitely on the agenda for sure. So that's on a business sense. And then on a personal sense, like commercial property is great. Some people crush it in commercial property. I've looked at commercial property. I don't own any in particular. And the key reason was this, that the reason I didn't get into it was mainly because I was seeking cash flow out of them, right? And I found a few residential deals that offered the same yields where I was more, I guess, familiar with residential. I think commercial is great. Don't have enough knowledge yet, I feel, or commitment yet to it. But what I always say to people is, once you have a strong portfolio first, then look at something like commercial. Only reason is because it's harder to borrow commercial. You need stronger deposits. And if you want to actually scale a portfolio, banks look at commercial property a little different to residential. So one of a fear I had, I wanted to build a strong portfolio earlier, residential, was you don't want to get to property 1 or 2 of commercial and then you're halted and you can't do anything, which happens a lot to some people. Instead, what I see the best do is they stack up with good, solid, foundational, simple residential property in good locations, work on them over time, and then they build a strong borrowing capacity, and then they can boost some extra cash flow with commercial property after that. So that's what I would personally do, not financial advice, but just on a personal note, and that's what I see the best do. But in saying that, some people do crush it just pure commercial, for sure. But chat to your broker around the different deposits and different lending requirements for commercial, because again, a lot of people starting out in this game don't actually consider all those things, and it can hold you back years if you don't get it right.
Great insight.
Yeah.
Really good.
And little things as well, like longer vacancy rates compared to residential, if you're buying in the right areas. There's pros and cons for both of them. So that's why I never say do one or the other. It's just my personal risk appetite is I like residential. If I want more cash flow, I usually buy like unit blocks and things like that. So that's my, I guess, look into commercial.
Yeah. Good insight. Happy to move on to the next one?
Let's bounce to it.
Wow, we're really getting through
Crushing
these.
it. We're crushing it.
So good. All right. Biggest habit you're trying to implement right now?
Or definitely biggest habit trying to implement right now, foundationally, sleep, improving sleep. Not only time to go to bed, but the sleep quality. I listened to that's number one. I listened to a podcast over the Christmas break. It was with Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO.
Yes.
You heard of him?
Yeah. I think I've listened to the one that you're
it's
about
good.
to.
Yeah. And he interviewed this, sorry, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she was like this, she was a scientist or did something with Whoop. You know, the new watches, the health watches.
That's right.
She was working at Whoop and she's the real data head and gave all these real key insights on people who use the Whoop, but their sleeping habits and the effects of not getting quality, consistent sleep is dramatic.
Huge.
To the point of like losing decades off your life on the back end.
Yeah, that gave me a bit of a fright listening to that.
And everyone knows that really, but like the data doesn't lie either, right? And then even from the side of like your emotional regulation, like what it does to your emotions, heightened state, you're more edgy, you're more, I know when I don't get a good sleep, things just piss me off more than what they should, right? So, and when I have a good sleep, you're just on. And she mentioned some really good points around keeping that circadian rhythm consistent.
Yes,
and,
I love that.
You know, waking up at a very similar time every day, regardless. You know, so I found that super interesting, really interesting. And even people who do shift work, the effects that has on the body over a period of time is detrimental, right? So if you haven't heard Diary of a CEO, great podcast, definitely follow it. But that episode, maybe just type in like Diary of a CEO Whoop sleep episode. I'm sure you'll find it. Or DM me and I'll send it to you. But yeah, it was really good. Opened my eyes up to sleep. My number one goal for this year and habit is making sleep actually my number one priority. It's the pillar. You could have the best education. You could have all the answers. You could have everything at your fingertips. But if you're not getting good, consistent sleep, it's going to affect your energy and emotional IQ, which I think is at the forefront to success.
100%.
So sleep, definitely. And then the second one is just reading. again, we get busy in life. I love podcasts and learning. So I do learn every day, non-negotiable. But I just miss sitting down on a chair and reading a book. You know, the busier you get, fill it
The
in with more
phones.
time. Yeah. So even though I love podcasts, some of my best learnings in life have still been from reading a book. 100%. I learned that from someone when I was younger, that you highlight the points and then go back to it. Some of my favorite books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People, like all of them, I just sat there and read them and I crushed them, and I still read them to this day, and they're just stuck with me for the rest of my life. So I want to get back into reading for sure. So I'm sort of implementing it after dinner, sort of as I wind down the day, just so it stays sticky in the brain. But yeah, definitely want to get more into reading. So they go hand in hand, really. Sleep and then reading. Sort of stack them together, right?
Yeah, reading is quite meditative as well.
Oh.
So it's perfect to do just before bed
Winding down,
to
yeah.
wind down your mind and get off the phone and the lighting of the phone. So yeah, that goes hand in hand. Do you want to quickly share your bedtime and wake up? I'm really curious.
As in like times?
Yeah, what times are you going to bed?
Yeah. Well, this is optimal. I'll give my optimal and where I've come from. I used to probably be a 9:30 sleep.
Which is probably early for some, very early for
Yeah,
some people.
yeah, 9:30, wake up at 4:30. But now I'm kind of 8 to 8:30, wake up at 4.
Yeah.
Always. And I love it. It's changed my life, waking up early. I love it. But I always find if I can be in wind down mode from 7:15, do all my stretching, all my routine, man, I'm on fire the next day. Like really, really good if I can be asleep by 8:30, wake up at 4.
Yeah. It's a high importance, a good night's sleep.
It's everything.
Amazing.
It is everything.
Let's go on to the next one. Whoops, I've just lost that. So, steps on how to become a buyer's agent based in Victoria.
I'll give two parts. I guess firstly, obviously, I'm based in Queensland. I couldn't give the specifics, I guess, in Victoria. I can tell you how to become a buyer's agent, though. That's probably because it's.
Why don't we go with that?
I mean, you've seen my inbox, the amount of people asking to be a buyer. Like, what's the path? You got any jobs coming on and things like that. So it's a hot topic. People are loving the buyer's agent industry, which is great. And I'm super grateful to be a part of it. And I'm extremely grateful what I feel. I'm leading a forefront and charge of inspiration for people to jump into it as well. So the biggest tip I can give around tips of being a buyer's agent is probably this. Number one is get the qualifications first. So there is no, again, I don't know Victoria, but in Queensland, there's no like set buyer's agent degree or anything like that. What I did, I went through the Real Estate Institute of Queensland and did my full like license, real estate license. That's somewhere to start. You got to do your quals. You can do a registration, things like that. It goes over 4 days or something. Back in the day, that's what it was, but not sure what it is now. But I would do the full license, just get it all sorted. And then from there, that's it. That's really all it is. Why that's a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing is nothing's stopping you. You don't have to do a 4-year degree and you could be earning more than a doctor. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's enticing for people. Second though is because it seems easy, a lot of people do it and a lot of people leave very quickly because they realize, oh shit, this is actually a lot harder than I thought.
A lot of work.
The real estate industry is tough. Like it's tough. The people crushing in real estate, they're there for a reason. And I always use the analogy, 1% of the industry is doing well. The rest of the industry are just not like, don't be fooled by the shiny glitz and glam and all that sort of stuff. I can assure you that. But it's flexible. It's great industry. Or things like that. So that'd be somewhere to start. If you want to be a buyer's agent in particular, I would suggest going through a 12 to 24 month apprenticeship minimum. And what I mean by apprenticeship is find a buyer's agency or buyer's agent who you aspire to or look up to. See, firstly, maybe they might have something going on and just shadow, be an associate role or an assistant role I think would be good. And just literally do what you're told and sponge everything. I think it's very hard to crack it in this industry with no experience of buying property and then just going out and doing it. Reason is it's a little different to being a sales agent is because you're actually buying someone an asset that, you know, it's not a pair of shoes. It's something that could change their life, and it's a lot of money. So you kind of need some runs on the board. You can't just come in fresh.
100%.
I really worry about that with the industry. I think in all honesty, I'm on the board of the REIQ this year, which I'm very grateful for. And one thing we're addressing is the marks to get into the industry need to improve. And to be able to operate as a buyer's agent and things like that. So that's probably the one part. So for this person asks that, I'd say if you're keen, go find someone in your area you want to target and just learn underneath them. Treat it like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And 2 years minimum. Some of our best buyer's agents in our team, they just stayed with me for 2 years and just learnt and just sponged everything. And now the income's starting to really pump for them, and they're learning. And but if they went on their own from the get-go, it's a tough industry.
Yeah, tough gig.
It's a tough gig, yeah. It's not easy.
So if you start it the right way and stick in and, you know, like learn as much as you can, it sounds like it's a place to be.
It's a place to be, that's it, yeah. No, it's a fun industry.
Definitely. Okay, so I think we're up to our last question.
Last question.
Wow.
I'm crushing it.
Love it. I think this is our quickest one we've done.
Oh, well, it's 2020.
New year, new
I'm
us.
keeping communication simple as well.
Very clean, very clear.
Loving
it.
I'm a bit of a waffler, so I'm
Yeah,
trying
me
to,
too.
yeah,
We're both waffles.
trying to keep those waffles clean this year.
We love clean.
Yeah.
All right. Will you ever expand from the Gold Coast to the Sunshine Coast?
I mean, you never know what happens in the future. Again, it probably goes back again to that original question we had around the year of simplicity. I just feel we need to. There's some really good other buyers agents and companies on the Gold Coast, which is amazing. But I truly see ourselves as the forefront on the Gold Coast, and I want to continue and not get complacent. And I want to just keep it simple and be better and keep learning, growing, helping people on the Gold Coast. I see so much more legs for the Gold Coast. All of our buyers agents are experts and they live here. They're all residents of the Gold Coast. So why try and change the dial when everything's going good here? In terms of, again, the Jim's mowing analogy I used earlier, when I feel it's strong and it's what I call like repeatable concept, maybe there could be opportunity to collaborate with someone else in different areas and look at it that way. But again, that hasn't even crossed my mind. I'm just staying super focused on Gold Coast. In terms of locations though, we've done a little bit in the Tweed Heads region now. Just slowly, that's what I mean. We can slowly extend. I see a huge potential in Northern Rivers and Tweed Coast.
I was going to say, for sure.
Huge.
So much
Blue
potential.
Ocean. Kingscliff, Casuarina,
And we're so
Benora.
close.
So close. And it's pretty much the Gold Coast parts of it. Beautiful homes.
Yeah.
Gentrifying places too. If anything, that would probably be next on the cards, and then sort of have a look at things from there. So stay tuned, but definitely nothing in the immediate. We got some other things to go hard at first, so it's exciting.
We'll have to sit tight and
Sit
keep
tight,
a close eye on you.
strap on in. Yeah, that's what it's about. But who knows, right?
Yeah.
I always,
Anything could happen.
I always believe in life. You kind of just. My coach used to say this: you just play what's in front. And back yourself.
I really like that
Who
analogy
knows?
too.
Here's a good one. I actually said this somewhere, don't know where, but one of my favorite quotes is, life will always open up doors. Sometimes it's our job to just walk through them. And then life will
said that
close the ones we're not meant to continue to walk through. You know? So sometimes there's plenty of doors, but people do nothing. Sometimes there's no doors and then we feel helpless, right? I always feel there's doors open. It's our job to actually walk through something and then life will
what's on the
continue.
other side.
Continue to
Give it a
close.
crack,
Give
as
it-
you always say.
Give it a crack. You either win or you learn.
Love it.
Don't lose. Is that it?
That's it. We're done.
We crushed that.
You did really crush that.
Yeah. No, good questions though. Really good questions. And if you want a question answered, the team put up a little Q&A post every fortnight or something, I think it is. Just throw a question in there. We really enjoyed it. As I said, it doesn't always have to be property, personal business. There's going to be some cool content this year as well, Jamila, around a bit more, people want a bit more behind the scenes of the Strama Group and what Buyer's Agent does and what we do and things like that. A bit more personality. I think we've got so many amazing people within the company and who we work with as well on the Gold Coast. Really want to highlight that for people. So thinking like maybe like a mini vlog style thing. I don't know.
It's been a big request to see what's going on behind the scenes and how you do it and all the habits behind it. So I think it'll be really, really exciting.
No, I'm transparent, open book. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's what it's all about. Sharing the journey. And just on that, appreciate everyone. Obviously, first one of the year, Property Pre-Qual. I think this is year 2 or something. Still fresh and new, but always willing to hear feedback and what you like and what you don't like. So stay tuned. We've got some cool guests coming up too in our guest episodes. Also, we might slip in a few little micro eps this year on the Property Prequel too. So keep an eye out for that, just to try and add more value to the listeners and the community. So as always, Jamila, thanks for your time. Great questions.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you on the next one, eh?
Yep.